Enlighten Me, the podcast everyone is talking about, with your host, Julian, where wisdom, knowledge, and experience meet the public.
This is your host, Julian, on Enlighten Me. And those who are listening via audio, this is a video podcast. Check me out at Enlighten Me Podcast at YouTube. I'm trying to do more videos like I told y'all, I promised y'all, so I'm on it. Before we get started, if you want to hop on a podcast, anything you want to dispute, like last week from the one we did, email me at enlightenmejulian@gmail.com. Shout out to Nisha Curves for her business, helping women get fit and lose weight, fit moms, as well as New Breed. And I got some other stuff coming up. But how are you doing today? And we're doing video.
I am good. How about yourself?
I'm blessed. You know, I had a lot of stuff going on, Bible study and things of that nature. But thank you again. This is your third or fourth podcast we've done.
And happy birthday also.
Thank you. Take that. We did do the podcast 2 weeks ago. I think, what was it on? I've done so many. Do you remember what
It was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago? I forgot what it was. Oh, about the gentleman staying with his significant other.
Yes.
Yes. Definitely interesting.
It was.
And you said you spoke to him. What it was his decision about?
I did. He said he's gonna decide by summer if he's gonna stay or not with his wife. But I honestly think he's probably gonna stay with her just because, like, if you are from Texas or familiar with Texas, Texas is huge on advocating more for moms than for fathers.
Yes.
And even though I'm a woman and a mom, I don't fully agree with that. He is a great dad. That's one thing I'll give it to him.
Yes.
But I think it's mainly from what he said, he doesn't want to miss out on being there 24/7 for his kids, even though he's like, I'll still be there 24/7. It's just that I don't want to miss out on when they wake up or when they go to sleep.
No, I definitely understand that. That's very pivotal, being in your kid's life in a two-parent household. So, you know, they say kids can't keep a marriage together, and I understand that, but all kudos to him. Definitely kudos to him.
Yes.
So y'all know the topic and everything like that. Why do you think, and this is brought up to me, women are being possibly desperate and begging for love before they love themselves?
You know what? Many times it unfortunately goes back to your childhood.
Yeah.
Because of course nurture is in nature, and for us women it's always either our dad or our mom that actually create that for us.
Okay.
Of course, people always joke around like, "Oh, daddy issues," and this just because women are more of a pleasing and like someone older than them, or it goes on that. But many times me personally, I believe when it comes to this topic is due to how a mother raises like their daughter. So, and from what I personally have seen, it's always like the mom competing with their own daughter.
Yeah.
So it's like it's hard because I don't want to say who or what because I don't know, like she likes to be nosy with my stuff, and I know she has heard to my last podcast with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was interesting family function. But I've seen it. I've seen it how I'm gonna let's name her Clara. Clara, her
Clara.
mother likes to pretty much compete with her in the sense of, oh, I'm better than you because like your dad is I've been with your dad for many years. I think they've been together for like 30 something years or more. He spoils me. I've been able to be a stay-at-home mom. Like I'm the mother of his kids. And that's how it's like to her own daughter.
Yeah.
And due to this, she has always been trying to find validation from men. And due to that, her son has seen that. She's always trying to find like validation from like other men. And there's nothing wrong with women in their 40s because I'm almost there. But it's just that she likes to even compete with me that I'm younger, or even my sister that she's way younger than her too.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't get that attention or that affection from like our partner, for example, for me personally with her, I've had problems before where she has tried to get like my husband's attention. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, and you know my husband, he does not like her.
Yeah.
A guy that I dated before, she actually, after I broke up with him, she went after him just to like pretty much kind of like compete with me in a sense. And and the way that I was raised is that you as a woman, like you got to love yourself, you got to take care of yourself, you got to believe in yourself. And it's mainly like your personal opinion that matters the most before anybody else.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, it's like, and that's how my mom was with like me and my sister. Something like my mom would make certain comments, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, she has always like told me that, like, she's like, no, it's just like you have to love yourself because like what you see in the mirror is what matters.
Yeah.
It's like that's the only opinion that matters, like over everyone. And it is true. It is true. Like I've throughout my teenage years and obviously now that I'm adult, I've always been of like, damn girl, like you know what, like you have two kids. I believe that like the older I've gotten, like the I am more confident, more secure, more adventurous. I've upgraded like in many levels in like of my life, and that's because like I have talks with myself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I do want to say that throughout the process of like finding myself and loving myself, I did have the support of my husband. But of course, like if I tell him like I want to go like do bungee jumping or to jump out of a plane, and he's like, yeah, go get it. He's like, do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's always like, and he always tells me, he's like, at the end of the day, he's like, it's what you want to do because like it's your choice, the way that you see it, the way that you feel about it. And he's like, as long as it does not affect me or the kids, he's like, on board.
Yeah, because he lets you individualize yourself still. Because before you met him, it says before you were your own person, and he allows you to embrace your own personality and who you are, and supports it. Which a lot of people don't support. Like, why can't I go? Well, I need this time to myself, or I want this time to myself, and people get offended by that. I think it's basically you need to be through this and bring it up before marriage or any type of relationship. Like, hey, I know people would get my ex would think it was indifferent when I would go out to dinner by myself. Like it was just my me time. I've been doing it for years since 2016. I would just go out to dinner by myself. I wasn't hooking up with nobody else. I just wanted some time. So definitely, I support you, hubby, that you come out and support her in those natures and factions.
Yeah, and that's a great thing. Like for me before, I never thought about like going to the one thing that like I took myself to completely get out of my shell was like going out to the gym. That's
Yeah,
like the one thing I've never done by myself. But eventually, like that's my me time. Like it's like if you want to like go to the gym with me, like it's cool, but I don't talk. Like I do my workout because like I'm there to work. After we could go get coffee and then like have a chit chat. But I believe like in dating yourself, like
yeah,
that's like priority because like that's the person that you're gonna live with the rest of your life. Not only like your partner or whatever like floats your boat on it, but like yourself. And like, when I did meet him, I told him I was like, look, I was like, I do not like being controlled. I do not like being like told what to do. Like I'm not a child. I was like, I like to be me. And that was like pretty much like after because I showed him like right away who I was. And I told him I was like, look, my friend group, it's like a mix of both genders. I'm like, I have like my guy friends, I'm like, and I have like my girlfriends. I'm like, I'm not the typical girl's girl. Like, no, I'm like, if you're a nice person, like I'm a nice person.
yeah.
Like I don't know. Sorry, girl. Like I love you, but sometimes like us women, we're not the best supporting each other. But
True.
yeah, it's how do you expect to be happy as a person with someone else if you're not happy with yourself?
No, I agree. No, I
And
definitely.
that's something like on it. Like me personally, for example, I do have girls' night, and that's like non-negotiable. And I told him I was like, hey, like I go out with my girls, and it's like we do karaoke, we talk about like stuff, or we just go shopping, or we go out to brunch and things. And he knew that. Now, I was like, when it's like if one like our guy friends, like because a lot of them live out of town, they're gonna go out. I do tell them like, hey, I was like, this person is going. I'm like, I would feel more comfortable. I'm like, if you come with me. I was like, just of like, not because like I'm gonna do something or whatever. It's just that I'm like, because if it's a mix of my group of friends. Some of my friends do have like cycle partners, and it's like that way. Like at least they know that like you're there too. Like as my husband, because like everybody knows that I'm married. I've been married for coming up next week on 11 years. So it's like it's not a secret. And he told me
Congratulations.
he's like, no, because like he's like, I'll pick you up, I'll drop you off and thing. And I love it because he picks me up with my water burger because like he knows I'm gonna be a few drinks in. But it's just and people are like, how do you make it work? Especially for us being from two different cultures. And I'm like, because he lets me be me. I'm like, I have never had to change like who I am to make him happy. And he has never had to change who he is to make me happy. We have grown because we've been together for like since I was 21 and he had just turned 26, I believe. But we have grown, we have changed. And it's like throughout those time we have dated each other of obviously as a couple and individually we have dated each other to see like we have like, you know what, I no longer like this. I'm trying to discover that I like this.
Yeah.
And it has helped us like in many ways, like to make sure that we are both happy in like as individuals. And by doing that, it has made us better parents and better couple.
Now, do you know for self-love and self-identity, the questions I present is why do so many women struggle with themselves before seeking love from others? I know you kind of brought it up with, being raised that way, but do you think after a time, we'll say after 25, what do you think that may entail? Past trauma, not healing?
That's two things that is like trauma and not healing from previous like relationships or and just like with the way that you were brought up. Another thing that has caused problems in many areas, not only like in self-love, but in all different departments like in our lives, social media.
Oh yeah, definitely social media.
Social media because like we are told that like man like you're getting old, you're no longer beautiful, you're no longer this, you're no longer that, and it shouldn't be the you are no longer physically beautiful. Like it's like wow, like you're so knowledgeable, like oh wow, you have done all this, like look at all the different hats that you wear. Personally, like as a mother, you have a lot of moms that, especially the active duty ladies, they are a soldier, they are moms, they are wives, they are fitness coaches, they do many different things. And society puts us on a label of by a certain age, this is like what you are only allowed to do. And it
That's
shouldn't
right.
be like, yeah, like and like that's it, that's all you are. And it's not. I think it's just like bullshit on how social media wants to present yourself for women and men. Because for men, you are told like you gotta be strong, you cannot cry, you cannot express yourself how you feel, you cannot have a bad moment. And I don't believe in that. And being a boy mom, like I tell my oldest, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be upset. Use your words. If you're angry, remove yourself from your surrounding, calm down, think it through, because then you're gonna make a bad decision.
Yeah.
And like he knows that it's okay to cry. He knows that it's okay to express himself. He is more of a gift giving person to show you how he feels. I want to make sure that he feels like confident also that it's okay to have a sense like a sensitive sensible side of himself. Like it's not always like you gotta be tough at all times. Like no, it's like you gotta find a balance.
Oh yeah.
And like self-love starts with, I believe that it always starts with us parents to our children, and of course like making sure that we are not judgmental in how people find their own happiness.
What do you think some of the signs are for a woman who doesn't have a strong foundation in self-worth?
I know you're probably gonna get a lot of comments on this, and I mean this in the most respectful way, but I think it comes with putting certain pictures out there to feel validated.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that because to be honest, like men are always gonna be looking at a woman's body, and that's it goes both ways. But it's not like they're gonna be looking at you and be like, "Oh my God, look at her! She has such a smart brain." Like they don't go for that. And some boys, because I'm not gonna say men, some boys find that intimidating when a woman is like it's pretty and smart.
Oh
They
yeah,
want
can't manipulate her.
someone, yeah, like God forbid, like you have a beautiful and smart woman. And it is commonly known that sometimes in order for women, I guess, like that are pushed once again by society to make sure that they're married by a certain age, have kids by a certain age, they have to dumb it down and be like cutesy and dumb pretty much in order to be validated by a man.
Yeah, I think that especially social media, going back to that, that's like the end all be all. Yeah, a lot of people do seek attention and validation through that. And once they don't receive that, it could change their whole aspect and paradigm on who am I as a person. Same, I've always been a contender with filters. Like I've been against it since I started my podcast because it truly gives you this falsehood on what you look like and I don't want to say what you couldn't be, because compounding a filter with makeup, I get it. Like if you love it, I like it, whatever. But at the same time, when is it going to be good enough? Because people can get lost in that, spiral out of control.
Oh yeah. At this point, I really don't care if like my family listens, but
What fixes that?
I was like, honestly, there's certain of them that they will not upload a picture until they have processed almost every single filter from apps in order for them to like not have their wrinkles or like certain things not noticeable.
Yeah.
It's like, girl, they're gonna see you in real person. Like you cannot wear a filter in real life.
Yep.
And my Instagram, for example, I have a certain like color tone palette, you could say, on it because it's just like my Instagram thing.
Yeah. Yes.
But if you go on like on my stories, like I don't wear a filter. Like I don't wear makeup. Like you have like known me like in person. I'm not really a big makeup person, and that's just me because like I it gets on my nerves. I feel like I have like too much things. Now, I do suck at like doing my makeup. I'm gonna say that. Like, I wish I was like all these other girls that they do it flawlessly and they look amazing. I might do it for date night. I might do it for special events. But other than that, and like it's me natural. Which is funny because the other day at the gym, I was wearing like a half ponytail, and this girl came to ask me. I was like, "Oh, who does your extensions?"
And you're
And
like,
I
"Oh,
laughed, and I'm like, "Oh no," I was like, It's like it's my natural hair." And she told me, she's like, "There's no possible way that your hair's that long." And I'm like, "No," I was like, "You know what? Like,
well, me."
I was like, I had a baby, like, well, he's not a baby, he's a toddler now. I was like, I had a kid 2 years ago. Like during pregnancy, I was like, my hair like grows super crazy. And I just told her, like, look, but I do take these vitamins. I'm like, and they have been great with my hair. I'm like, I told her like my shower routine of my hair, and she didn't believe me. And I'm like, so like I put my hair up in a ponytail so she could see. I'm like, girls, like it's my hair. Like it took me years to grow it out because I did cut it super short on one time. But it's just that I think here we're in my area, a lot of women are not happy with themselves. And it's sad because they are beautiful women. They're
Yeah.
beautiful and they have so much to offer, but they go and get a lot of surgery done. And that's another thing. There's nothing wrong with if you want to like fix anything because like as women, we're never gonna be content with like we always want to fix something, to be honest.
We go.
I'm like, there's always like, and
Yeah.
this
Def-
girl, she's like, "Oh, what like setting spray do you like to use?" And I was like, "I don't wear makeup to the gym." I was like, I told her the girl, I was like, "I have really sensitive skin." I was
yeah.
like, there's certain things that I can't do, and I told her, I was like, it took me a while to find what worked for me,
Yeah. Definitely.
and me personally, like, I like the way that I look. I'm completely happy with my body, and it took me years on that, and it took me going to therapy, of course, and I'm happy with it. I've been really open about the only surgery that I do plan on having is probably a boob lift, and that's only because I breastfed. I mean that one like if the girls are listening and you're a mom, like you know what happens with that. But it's just like it's frowned upon to be happy with the way that you are naturally. Or if you like surgery, like people are like, oh, she's happy because she got fixed. And it's like, no, I was like, I mean, at least a good doctor is going to tell their patient, you need to go to therapy to make sure that you're okay with the change that you're going to go through.
Yeah.
Because like you could go back, but I mean, it's not going to look the same.
Yeah. I wonder how that goes into the dating realm, like and marriage realm and relationship realm. Like if you feel, and that's kind of where we're encompassing this whole podcast. If you feel like you're not validated or happy with yourself, is there an overexposure to your husband or fiance or boyfriend or side dude not being enough to validate you because you're not happy with yourself? So I wonder how that stirs the pot. I like stirring the pot.
So in that, you know what? Like, yeah, I was like me personally, I guess when I was like going through my postpartum, when I had like my oldest, I did go through postpartum depression. Obviously, once like I was back to pre-baby everything, and like I had said in the previous podcast that we were on that roommate phase. It was nice to like for someone like to give me a compliment. They're like, "Oh, like you look good," but at the same time, it's like, wait a damn minute. I was like, I don't want that from someone else. Like, I want it to come from like from my husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and he has always done that. Like when we had Mateo, I he had was just born like 3 hours before that. And it's not pretty after you have a kid. You have the typical big diaper that they give you after giving birth.
Yeah.
And this man looks at me and he's like, "Oh my God." He's like, "You're the most beautiful woman." He's like, "I can't believe you just gave me like another child." Like, he's like, "We should have another one." I'm like, "Sir, I just gave birth to a second
Hey,
one. I do
listen,
not want to talk."
I'm all for it. My man,
Yeah.
my man.
Yeah, he's all in. But and that's what I tell people. I'm like, you know what? I was like, no, that's one thing I'll give my husband. Because people like say like, "Oh, you act like you're all that." And I'm like, you know what? I am all that. Like I'm all that to my husband. I'm like, and that's because I have made myself feel like that, and that's because he has always made me feel like that. He
Yeah,
has
he reinforced who you
never,
are. They're jealous
yeah. And
over it.
yeah, I'm like, this man has seen me been overweight. This man has seen me be 2 pregnancies, postpartum,
Yeah.
go up on my weight, go down on my weight, look the way that I look, and the way that he looks at me, the way that he treats me has never been different.
So reinforcement would definitely be a huge thing. I wonder how. And I think there's a girl that asked me when I posted this on my story. Trauma from past relationships can definitely be detrimental to self identity. I guess I don't feel enough, or I wasn't enough. Even though I gave him or her 110%, it still wasn't enough. So I know that can trickle, if not transpond into another relationship, which would be definitely tragic. I don't think I've ever dealt with that. No, I haven't. But I know some girls who have, where they were dating a guy for a while. He was doing everything right, supposedly, and she was questioning him every which way for no reason, and they separated at the moment.
Yeah.
Still talking. I think she said they're still talking.
So that could actually be like, for example, like my hair.
Yeah,
That's like one thing that I did carry from a past relationship where for him, like he told me that he's like, "I prohibit you." He's like, "From cutting your hair."
yeah.
He's like, "Because women are need to have long hair. Like they should not have short hair."
Damn.
And yeah. And I was like, so the way that I am, I went and cut my hair.
Yeah,
The way that I have it right now, it was that long. And I cut it like I did a bob. And he was extremely pissed off and tell me that, "Oh, now you're gonna look like a man, so that." Eventually, when like obviously like I left that relationship and now that I'm with my husband, I'll be like, "Hey, like I'm gonna cut my hair. How how short can I go?" He was he was bad like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "It's your hair."
yeah. Like,
Yeah, he was confused. He was like that poor man. I confuse him all the time, to be honest, still.
well,
But
you do that.
he's like, "I don't understand." And he's like, "As long as you're happy," it's like, "If I like it or not," he's like, "That doesn't matter." He's like, "Do you like it?"
Yeah,
He's like, are you gonna be happy with it?" So I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like you got a point. But he will tell me, he's like, "Look, you say you want to do this color." He's like, "But in 3 months, you're gonna be like, I should have not done it." And I'm just like, "Can you like stop being right?" And I'm just like, yeah, I was like, you're right. Because I tell him like, "Oh, I'm gonna go do this to my hair," and he's like, "Okay." And he just sits there and looks at me, and I'm like, "Nah, I'm gonna regret it, huh?" He's like, "You are." He's like, "But I'm not gonna tell you no." It's like, so
yeah. I'm sure, and as a man myself, he feels included in decisions you're making about your body. So I get it. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's my body." Yeah, but involve your partner and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" That'd make me feel good. Like, damn, babe, you gonna ask my opinion? I would say,
mm,
oh, I can't say it's inappropriate, but yeah, keep your hair that length for reasons on end. Just keep it that length
exactly. I'm
and
like,
use
that's why you always have to have your like hair long. But I mean, if people understood what we meant, that's the reason why I have long hair.
that.
But yeah, honestly, like I include them even when I go buy a shirt because I'm like, does this color look good on me? Because I mean, apparently there's a color palette. Like I'm a girl, but as long as I like it, I'll wear it. Don't get me wrong. But he'll be like, you know what? He's like, you're gonna love it the first 3 weeks. He's like, and then you're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Like you're right. And so I'm like, I only care about his opinion with things. And for me, then like I'm lifting. I actually like uploaded a picture earlier and you could tell like a little bit of like on my body's a little bit more tone. I'm like, and one of my brother's friends, he's like, "You better not get big. Like you better not have like those big arms." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, but last time I checked, you don't pay my bills." I was like, "As long as my man likes it, that's all I care about." I was
That's
like, "Are you a?" Yeah, I was like, I mean, do I want to be a muscle mommy? Yes, I do. But you know what? Tacos get on the way, and that's just not gonna happen. As long as Like I stay healthy, I'm good.
Yeah. Another question, because we're moving along. I think we have like 3 more sections to cover. And usually, people, I don't usually do questions like this, but I'm not a woman, and I needed to dive in a little more depth on, I guess, desperation and love on a woman's aspect. Granted, I do have a woman guest. What does it look like when love turns into begging, and what are the red flags?
So like desperate, like you mean like us begging for love, or like when our partner begs for love?
Yeah, I guess it's a pretty vague question, pretty surface level at the same time. But what can be not just or verbally begging? What could be an aspect of begging for love
So me,
without verbally doing it? It's a tricky one. It's like Willy Wonka. What could be
yeah,
a
you know
begging?
what? There's many departments like on that, to be honest. But if you have to beg your partner to spend time with you, that for me is like you're going different paths.
Yeah,
Because yeah, you I do recommend for all couples to honestly read the 5 love languages.
I was
You
just
do
about to say
have
that.
to like you have to know what their love language is.
Yeah,
For example, like my husband, I was like, and I bring him up too much sometimes, but he's my bestie. His love language for him is watching baseball or for me to ask stuff about baseball. Do I care about baseball? A little bit. Not I'm like I am a fan. But the stats, the where they went to school, the whatever speed they're pitching, hitting, all that breakdown, I'm not a big fan, but it's fun to know because I like to argue with people and I like to know those stuff.
yeah,
But that's his love language. The fact that I'm asking about something that he enjoys and he likes. And for me, it's like words of affirmation. It's he could go to the gas station and bring me a Snickers bag, and oh my God, it's like he just brought me like a Gucci bag
yeah,
because it's the fact that he thought of me. It's the fact that he put the effort. And if I have to be asking my partner like spend time with me, next time that you go to the store, can you please bring me my favorite drink or this or that? That is when you're with the wrong person at that point.
yeah,
Because it's now I'm not saying that as women like don't expect your partner to read your mind. They're not mind readers. Communicate. Like if you let your partner know, be like, hey babe, you know what? Like on Saturday mornings, I love going to this coffee spot that I found and I like to sit on this table, they will remember because
yeah,
the phrase "if he wanted to, he would." It does exist. That is a proof. He would like randomly one Saturday morning tell you like, "Hey, let's get up early and let's go do something." He might tell you what you're gonna do, might not do, but he remembers the fact that you told him that you look like going to the coffee shop that is downtown and you like sitting on the second table next to the street because of whatever reason.
yeah. It's those intricate details that help a relationship thrive. It's like, dang, babe. Well, for me, I'm like, damn, babe, you remember that and things of that nature. It is really profound. It's like even you paid attention to what I was doing, even without me saying, hey, what do you think about this? Or you're like, yeah, I recollect what you did last week. Like you picked this seat, like you were saying, and you sat here to have a view out. I started watching you. I saw what you ate. I saw what you ordered and things of that nature. Yeah, if you prescribe that to somebody, I think definitely love languages should be administered. And a lot of people I tell, they're like, well, my love language is this, so they exert that love language. But I'm like, that's not your partner's love language. You have to love them the way they need to be loved, and they can do vice versa on your end. And
Yes.
people are finding that out as we get older and figure out who they are as a person. Is there a difference between wanting love and needing it to feel whole? That's an interesting.
There is. There is because if you like I've said, if you're happy with who you are as a person, you are okay with having or not having someone in your life. As like like you need to be able to travel by yourself, go to the movies by yourself, have coffee by yourself, do things by yourself. Like you should not depend on other people to feel love. Like if you love yourself so much, you will attract that into your life.
Yeah, I think individualizing yourself, like you were stating, because again, I was a person before I met you, and these are the things I did. I may have, bend a little bit on something compromised, we'll say, but at the same time, you should be fulfilled as a person of who you are. Your spouse isn't always going to make you happy or joyous, but you, and that's kind of your job, and your spouse should not taint that at all or bring up improper peace, but definitely feel whole as you are. Love yourself. I think a lot of people cliche that we rush into relationships to fill that void of longing. And sometimes we don't even want to move on because the last link we had with that person was trauma. And that, like, I guess, blends us with some type of satisfaction and warrants us to move in a direction of, hey, you weren't here, but from what I understand, this trauma is prescribed to me in a manner of satisfaction. So now when you meet somebody healthy, that love isn't going to be applicable to you because you're used to this type of, I guess, trauma based, whatever happened with your ex and things of that nature. But just
Yeah.
to wrap up, what I'm saying is, yeah, you definitely need to feel whole in who you are and fix who you are before you move on. Because nobody wants to put in the work. It's too much effort. And that's where you get, I'm breaking up with this person, or how did I get in this relationship, or how is this person trying to run over me with the car? It's crazy stuff.
Funny you say about the running over someone, because my best friend, her husband, his ex-girlfriend, long time ago, she ran him over actually.
I used to like stuff like that. Not that far,
Yeah.
but the toxic nature. Then you really care about me. You try to kill me? But
Yeah, it was so funny. Actually, I FaceTimed my husband yesterday, and I was like, "Babe, remember the time I almost like stabbed you because I was being a psycho?" And he's like, he's laughing. He's like, "Yeah." And my friend, my friend's just like, "Iliana," and I'm like, "Girl, look, I was young, I was stupid. Okay, I was still healing because I was little jealous." And no, I'm like, I was a work in progress. Not gonna lie, I think I was able to like know myself more
yeah.
because I was finally with a partner that didn't judge me what I like and who I am as a person.
Yeah, it's a little, I mean, it shows you love him or care or you're crazy, but he's still around. Y'all have a beautiful family and y'all are still ticking.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pray for him.
Sometimes
I'm
I gotta
definitely
pick a
gonna pray
fight.
for him.
Sometimes I'll be like, just let him know that I still care. I'll be like, why is this person following you? It's not like I care. I'm on like, girl, I'm on like, good luck. I'm on like, good luck with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
When
like,
I was
no.
younger, I don't know why. I probably needed help when I was about 20, 24, 26. I guess I don't know.
Your frontal lobe was not fully developed yet, so
Exactly. Was it 28
you
for
didn't know
men?
better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just new kill. But what, what does a healthy love look like after self-love is established?
Love is just when people say like make sure you marry your best friend or
Yeah.
be with your best friend. Me personally, and that's the advice that I give like my friends or even like my little sister. I tell her when you love yourself so much, like you know what healthy looks like, that you are at peace. Like you should be at peace with yourself first of all, but if you have a partner, it should be peace. You should not be stressing. Uh, and if you start stressing and they're causing you stress, they gotta go. Even if it's a woman or a man, it does not matter. You have to be at peace because being healthy yourself, it goes like throughout it. I make sure that my kids know what healthy marriage looks like also.
It's important.
They have seen us like not fight because like I tell them like we're not gonna do that. He has never raised his voice at me at all whatsoever. I have, and I'm sorry for that, baby. But anyways, they have seen us have arguments where I've been like, I have actually like, you know what, like I'm sorry. I know I was wrong for saying this, or I'm out, and they see how we apologize, how we work it out, and everything. It's like we don't shelter them from thinking that their parents are perfect either. But I just want to make sure that they go on that, and it's something that I'm happy that I have shown so far to the oldest, because Mateo's still little. But
Yeah.
he asked me, he's like, "Oh, how did you and daddy meet?" And right now he's too little to know how we really met. I was like, I cannot tell him like I met your dad in a booty call page. So I'm like, oh, we just met
Oh,
at
they
a coffee shop. I have to always like remember my lie on that. I'm like, once he gets older, I tell him the truth.
booty
He's
call page.
like, yeah, it was. But hey, that's what do you call since for like 12 years now. But I just tell him, I was like, well, I asked him one day, I was like, does it bother you that me and daddy are always like in hands, or the fact that you have like seen us like give like little like kiss or something? And he's like, no, mommy. He's like, I love that. He's
Yeah.
like, because daddy loves you so much, and I know you love daddy so much also. And that time I'm like, good. I was like, I'm glad. I'm like, because like I was like, your daddy is my best friend. And I know my husband has told him like, yeah, mommy's my best friend. And when he is kind of like a little disrespectful, he doesn't tell him like, do not be disrespectful towards your mother. He tells him like, do not be disrespectful towards my wife. So like
No,
he's
like
like
that.
letting him know, he's like, hey, that might be your mama, but like that's my wife. And
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just like,
boundaries. He's setting boundaries. That's really good.
yeah, and I'm glad he sees that because I didn't grow up with the best role models like in what a healthy marriage is.
Yeah. Did your
So
husband?
it's I'm sorry?
Did your husband grow up with with that.
See, that actually would be a great podcast for you guys to do. From he saw what one thing I guess like I could openly say is that he's grateful for seeing his dad
Yeah.
be a great example of what he did not want it to be as a father, as a man, and as a husband.
So were his parents still married? I guess after 18.
Yes.
Okay.
And my mother-in-law finally, thankfully, they got divorced, I believe 2 years ago.
Okay. But it was
We
it healthy as
don't talk
well?
to him. I think it was a long time coming. That divorce was a long time coming, to be
Okay.
honest. But my mother was finally like happy. She's at peace, thankfully. She
Yeah.
is an amazing woman. But for him, it's just like that example of like what he didn't want to be. And I'm glad he took
Yeah.
that path because obviously we all grow up with the same parents, but of course we all take our different paths, and some of us turn just like our parents, and some of us like say like, "Hey, this is
Yeah.
where we draw the line." His grandfather was a great example of what a man, father, and husband should be.
Yeah, I think growing up in my 20s again, I'm 35 now. That was a deal breaker for me because I started seeing a pattern. I guess it was my type of woman or where I met. I don't know. It was just a conglomerate of patterns on if you're not raised with two parents, I don't think it would be adequate for me. But then I understand that, two parent households aren't always healthy. So that's why I asked that second question. So I guess it all depends on how you vet the person you're trying to meet and things of that nature and ask them certain questions, yada, yada, yada. For what does a healthy love look like? I would say, like you said, peace. I don't think anybody should be detrimental to your mental health, spiritual health, physical health, all that mind and everything like that. Hopefully they can amplify it and help love with unconditional love. That's huge and that's not really talked about. But I think that's what a healthy love would look like. And that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was gonna I think like the only unconditional love, like for me personally, it comes to my children.
Yeah.
And it's but no, I think in all perspective of like self-love is boundaries. Like there's nothing wrong with boundaries like at all. I love them. I love them. And some people in my life have hated them because I didn't have boundaries before because it was just like, oh, that's your aunt, that's your blah. And now I'm like, I don't care who you are. I'm like, if you are bringing chaos to my peaceful life, you have to be removed.
Oh, yeah.
And especially when it comes to my kids, like if my oldest tells me they do not like someone, instantly cut off.
Yeah, I had to
I'm
use my
like,
dog sometimes. Like if my dog ain't like you, supposedly, then and it's crazy actually. I didn't pay attention. People kept saying it, and then also my dog ain't started liking some people, and I'm like, she was right. So shout out to China. But the last question, of course, we always got to incorporate God. You think a relationship can be filled with the void, or can your relationship be healed with the void of God? With God help fill the void, many women try to fill with them. There we go. I was reading backwards and forwards in the middle at the same time.
you know what? Yeah. Honestly, yes. I've seen it. One of my friends, she just went through a divorce actually.
Yeah.
And for her, like God has always been her rock, her like everything. And I admire that from her because like that helped her know that she was making the right choice
Yeah.
of choosing herself and making sure that she goes on her healing journey as a woman, and it has brought that support that she needed. So yeah, like honestly, like if you believe in God or if you're just spiritual in something and it helps you like healed and discover the self-love and the worth that you are worthy of, I said go for it.
Yeah. I try to be the best God-fearing man I can be. So I would say on a man's premise, definitely God is profound and has helped me through things, relationships as well, and get through things like that. And once I found that love through him, I was able to move forward and transcend and become a better man and apply myself better. And I try to use that as a foundation for my relationships and going forward than anything else, especially friends as well. But is there anything else you'd like to cover before we sign that off?
No, I'm ready for question opinions of that podcast.
Oh yeah. So I got a couple opinions. One really exuberant opinion about the podcast we did 2 weeks ago. So again, if y'all have an opinion, let me know. Call me, text me, message me. Again, Enlighten Me Podcast. I have an Instagram now. Just search Enlighten Me Podcast. Email me at enlightenmejulian@gmail.com. It's on YouTube as well, Enlighten Me Podcast. Shout out to Nisha Curves, Newbury Fit, and appreciate it, hubby. Thank you. Hopefully we can do a podcast soon. Elena, thank you for joining me on Enlighten Me.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Make sure y'all subscribe and share and have a blessed night. Y'all take care now.